I grabbed the right file. It should be recording though. Yep. So that started. And now I got to share my screen. And we'll go to the, I think it's the whiteboard. Before we do that, I'll go to the, bop, 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 bop. There we go. Okay. Content from second camera. And now I should put this in the front. Share. Sweet. So now it should, oh, I could put it up on the projector for you so you can see it. Yeah, because I mean, everyone who's watching the recording will see it, but you can't see it. So that'll be something good to do. Yeah. Yeah, you're doing, yeah. You know, I don't know what's going on, but it's happening. So that's good. Booting up. Well, the first thing I usually do is I usually just show them, like if I start a new chapter, because chapter 11, I'll just run straight through it. There's not going to be any problems to go through too much. I just have vocabulary and then formulas and stuff. So it will be faster than normal even too. But that's the vocab. So I usually just say, this is the vocab for chapter 11, the last chapter. It's on the website. And so if you've come to the recording, you can get to the vocab. But that's the vocab. There's chapters 8, 9, 10, and 11 have vocabs, and so does chapter 5. And I think chapter 7 has vocabs that I did by myself. But she also defines the terms on her PowerPoints. So students can go and look at that. But, yeah. Yeah. But the only thing that I'm going to really go over for this session today is just knowing your formulas, because this is kind of the end, more of review. I don't know, I guess I'll talk with Nikki and see if I'll hold the last session on Monday, because all it'll be is I'll be sitting here and be like, does anyone have any questions to go over? And if the attendance is like it is, well, so I don't know. But yeah, there's just the molarity formula. Make sure you have your moles and your liters in the right positions, and make sure if the questions give you milliliters that you have to first convert to liters before you do that, because some people have that problem and they'll use milliliters instead, and their calculations will be wrong. So, and then the percent, mass percent, which is to find out how much of your solute is in your total solution. You just put your mass over that, and then it'll give you the decimal. And then the 100 is for the percent, so that's super easy. A bunch of these, you just keep going. Make sure you guys know all of these formulas. There's mole fraction, molality, and stuff like that. And then after that is the, just make sure you know the differences between your polar molecules and non-polar, and how they work in your solutions and mixtures, like dissolves like, and things like that. This whole paper will be on the website. Also, I will try to add a couple more just so y'all can look through, but really it's just review the PowerPoints. Make sure you go to the classes for sure, because she covers a lot of it. And then after that, there's not how much. Enthalpy is also important. It was covered in the earlier chapter of thermochemistry, but it's also, you need to know your equations. That's the word. Equations there for sure, especially. And it keeps going. Solubility for this is mostly your chapter 11 is just your mixtures and solids and colloids. So just make sure you know. Also, to review the gas laws in chapter 9 are important to have really study those because they'll come up a lot, especially Henry's law. And there's another one I can't mention off the top of my head. But it is on the chapter 9 vocab, also with the formulas on there, so you can work through. And there's even a couple worksheets to work through those problems. So there's that. Yeah, if anyone else was here, I'd ask them if they had any questions on stuff, but all the rest of my materials just kind of need feedback, so. Uh, but yeah. Yeah, it's just, they just got to know their formulas and stuff, especially for this. And then there's a bunch of worksheets. I would go through one worksheet. Well, in chapter 9, I did 2, or no, that might have been chapter 8. Lewis structures was important, so I did 2 over that. But then all the rest have a worksheet that I went over, and then there's an extra one on the website that they can go through. But I don't know. I was kind of hoping someone would come so that way I could show them this stuff and then they could ask me questions. But I mean, this is just the review stuff that I had. Because I'm pretty much ramping up in the SI. All the stuff has pretty much been covered. She's still going over the last couple chapters in the class, but I mean, other than that. I mean, if you want to work through some problems, we can, but let me. Well, most of them. I have another chapter 10 thing. This is kind of like this is a whole review through a bunch of the chapters. Most of them, they're multiple choice format just because that's what most of their questions are. And so during the other chapters, I've gone through some of the workable problems. But this one is it only? Yeah. Oh, okay, it is the multiple choice. I have the multiple choice portion on me, so I mean, I have this on me. All my other worksheets and stuff I don't have with me right now, just because. But I have this stuff, so I mean, if you want to answer this question, you can go for it.
I can try.
What do you think number 1 is? Well,
Highly ordered structure. Yeah, see, is that right?
Did you say have highly ordered structures? Well, that was actually right. So, yeah, the way they're formed is they have they're formed with ions, and so when they're formed together, they're put together. It's not some of the other solids are like covalently bonded, so they share electrons, and they're easier to come apart. But no, they're bonded by ions, so they have highly ordered structures, which they're more complex, and it takes a lot more to take them apart. But yeah, that's stuff like that. Well, that's okay. So, but I mean,
I got it right at least.
yeah, that's funny. But yeah, I mean, it's just there's some more of this. But I don't know if you want to we can keep going. And the attractive intermolecular forces. So this is some chapter 10, the intermolecular forces that I went over last, I think, the session, because there was one session where I started chapter 9, and then finished chapter 9 in the middle, and then I was like, okay, here's some chapter 10 terms, to go through, and so there's some stuff like this, but.
Yes, I would say.
Why? Well, that's right. Yes.
Well, I know that a lot of solids behave like liquids that move really slowly.
Mm-hmm.
This kind of makes a lot more sense compared to the rest.
Yeah, a lot of them. Once you cover the vocabulary and stuff, a lot of them become like well, I can determine this just by looking at what I know about it, and then it becomes simpler on that. So yeah. Yeah, here it goes. Oh, let me go back.
I don't know elemental names.
Yeah, well, molecular mass. So basically, most of the time, the larger a structure or compound is, it'll take longer to boil, so it has a higher boiling point. That's kind of the straightforward. So which one should have the highest boiling point? Let me check my thing. Yeah, so it is, which it is for a lot of the cases, which CN. So that CN forms, I think, because even dipole movement goes into organic chemistry, which is what I'm taking. So it makes it a lot simpler. Oh, okay. So the CNN actually, they form a triple bond. So like most things, they bond together with just the 2 electrons. Well, the CNN, they form 3 bonds between each other. So that means, yeah, it will have a higher boiling point because of the dipole movement. Dipole movement is just like, layman terms, it's where the hydrogens, how hydrogens bond and where the electrons move. So since they're all in close proximity on the CNN, it forms that triple bond. It's really concentrated right there, so it's harder to break apart. So bonds that are harder to break apart take longer to, like, you need more heat to, yeah. But so it's B. But like if I were to rank them, let's just look. I would say when you get up near the molecular, okay, yeah, see the dipole movement, the numerical numbers. So you just compare. So I think that B is going to be the highest, and then if I'm looking at this, I'm thinking either the one that has the 50 mass or the 44, but with this much dipole movement, they'll be the ones that take longer to. They have a higher boiling point, and then of course, like propane will have the lowest. So pretty much, yeah. And then just as long as you know your things like that. So, but yeah, number 4 is also kind of cool to know. And the the intermolecular force of force is responsible for the fact that CH4 has the lowest boiling point in the set of all of these. Is okay. So when you have your intermolecular forces, there's like a rank of which ones, like, they take more and more heat and energy to break apart. And so this one's just saying C4 has the smallest force, or like the weakest force. And so you just kind of got to know which one is the weakest, which is, it's the London dispersion forces. And then I believe it goes to, so it would be E is the lowest. And then we go to, hold on, let me read all these mainly. Yeah, so E and then C is a little bit higher. And then we'll go, so then D, so dipole to dipole is slightly stronger than London dispersion. And then we'll go to the mainly hydrogen bonding, but also it also has the dipole interactions with the compound. So most of it, they'll connect with hydrogen bonding, but some will have dipole to dipole interaction, which is just the polarity of the sides of the molecules. And then the hydrogen bonding is the strongest bond in the intermolecular forces. Yep. So it's just stuff like that. Thanks. So, but yeah, yeah. I guess you kind of are technically kind of evaluating me too. I didn't think about that. Yeah. Hey, go over there and make sure he knows what he's doing. Yeah. But I mean, the rest of these, I kind of want to leave for like practice and stuff, just because this is more of a, like, they can use this as a practice test. Yes. So it goes, and they can double check the answers, but I kind of want you guys to work through it first before you guys look at the answers. Like try and go through, I mean, you can go through one at a time, but try and do the whole thing kind of like a practice test. So that way you can get your practice in on that. So. But yeah, that's all of the material that I have to offer for today. So I guess I can pause it there. That's all right with you. Cool. But yeah. Stop the share. Also go on to the website for all the extra worksheets, and then I'll also add a couple more on there. And the vocab is important. Always look at the vocabularies. And if someone sends me an email, I can go back and add some vocabs for the earlier chapters if you want, but they're a little more on the easier side. So it's up to whoever. If you don't want me to, send me an email. So I guess I can click stop recording.